today I would like to show y'all my story. Story with y'all that not many people know, only a few, but something that has truly changed my life. In March 2009, I was diagnosed with psoriasis. Now many of y'all think, okay, what's that? Psoriasis is an autoimmune disease that basically means my skin cycle is about 4 to 5 days long, which means basically dead skin builds on top of each other over and over and over and over and over until it makes patches. Patches that can cover practically anywhere in your body. It's practically true. Now, not only are obviously the visual side effects what everyone saw, but I'd like to share with y'all everything else that not all of y'all got to see what was behind closed doors. One thing that I faced is discrimination. Whenever I would go out and wear shorts, just in the summer, people would automatically just stare at me, just stare. And they would judge me based upon something that I had no control over. You know, people would just come up to me and ask me, "What's wrong with you?" In literally the most blunt voices ever. And it was just demeaning, and it was just horrible. And also, whenever I would go to pools in the summer, there would literally be signs that say, if you have a skin disease, you can't swim. Honestly, I can understand that with things like ringworm and stuff like that, but with someone like me, with my problem, it was just another blow. And this is what it is. 80% of this covered my body. 80%. Not many of you saw it because I kept it covered up because I was so embarrassed by it. But just 80%, and it was everywhere. Another thing that I had was damage. Obviously, I had the physical damage. It was hurt, painful, it was so itchy. But there is more to that. There's the emotional damage. The damage of knowing that no one can look at you for who you are. The damage of knowing that people are judging you based upon something that you can't help. And it was really hard for me to deal with. And and it really affected me. And I became depressed because people would just judge me based on something that they saw before getting to know me. And I also had to deal with fighting it. And every day was just another fight. Every morning, I just didn't want to get up in the morning. I wanted to stay in bed, and I didn't want to come to school because I didn't want any of you people to understand or just to see it. And successes and failures is pretty much my whole roller coaster ride with this. I was on about 7 different medicines. I would have to give myself shots in my thighs twice a week. As of right now, my liver is probably diminishing because of my medicine. And I have to take pills for my medicine so I can survive long enough. But I wasn't the only one who had to fight. During this time, I figured out who my true friends are and the ones that would actually stick with me and who actually cared enough for me to understand. Not only did I fight, but my parents fought. My parents were on the phone with my insurance company because the shots that I had to take were normally about $1,000. And the insurance company would only pay for one of them. And so my parents would literally have to pay $4,000 a month. They would fight with them because the insurance company wouldn't do anything to help me. And every night I would hear my dad on the phone just screaming or talking with our lawyers or something just to help me get through it. But through all of this, what got me through was knowing that there's someone out there who has it worse than me. Maybe they're not in this room, maybe they aren't even in this entire school, but there's someone who has it worse than me. Not just psoriasis itself, but someone has a life that is just worse than mine, and it's unbearable. So what I did was I said, even though I can be depressed all I want at home, I'm not going to let anyone here see it. So I wore my cheer uniform, proud. I didn't care. I wore it. I wore my field hockey uniform. I wore it proud. I didn't care. If you had anything to say to me, I just would not let it bother me. It was like a stone wall. But through that fight came my triumph. I was put on Trexall about 6 weeks ago, and as many of you have been able to tell, I'm completely clear. It's completely gone. There's no more. There's none. And even though it was a very long, hard ride, my mom kept fighting. I went to about 3 different doctors, all for that. And not only was the triumph of just seeing the results, it was also the triumph of me being able to show everyone how I really am and not letting it affect me. Lastly, I would like to leave y'all with this. Everyone has their own problem. I have mine, y'all have yours. But it doesn't matter. And honestly, next time you see someone on the street, don't judge them based upon what they're looking at. Judge them upon when you actually talk to them and have a speech with them. And be proud of who you are. Thank you.